Hello, welcome to this session 7 on voltage multipliers. In this session, we are going to see the construction and working of voltage multipliers using PN junction diode. This will come under the category of diode applications, in which you will be able to know these are the various types of applications in which diodes can be used. They will be used as rectifiers, voltage regulators, wave shaping circuits, and in voltage multiplication. It is this section that I want to start today, voltage multiplication, in which we will see voltage doubler, tripler, and quadrupler. Here we will see the construction and working of a voltage doubler. This is the voltage doubler circuit in which we are using two capacitors and two diodes each. And the source is represented as Vs, which is an AC, whose peak value is Vm. And during the positive half cycle, the top part of the source is considered to be of positive polarity, whereas the bottom part is negative polarity. At that instant, it is D2 which can conduct, but before D2 conducts and charge capacitor C2, C1 should have acquired the maximum charging, and for that we will see, for example, D1 should be conducting, and that will happen only if D1 is forward biased, and that will happen during the negative half cycle, in which the bottom part of the source is positive. So D1, at that instant, D1 will conduct, and it will make a current flow in the upward direction and from right to left through C1. So that will charge the capacitor C1, and therefore the C1 plates will be acquiring polarities like this. The right plate will be positive and left plate will be negative. And in order to do that, and then during the charging, once when the charging is complete, C1 will be raised to a particular potential which is equal to the maximum potential available from the source, which is Vm. And thereafter C1 will be acting like a battery of voltage Vm. Next we will see how D2 can conduct. So D2 will be conducting when D2 is forward biased, which means for that positive half cycle should appear, in which the top part of the source will be positive and bottom part will be negative. So at that instant, current will be flowing through D2 in the downward direction, and it will charge the capacitor C2 in such a way that the right plate of C2 will be positive. But during that phase, the potential to which C2 can be raised depends on the maximum net voltage available in the circuit, and at that in order to find out how much it is, we will see what is the way in which the two sources available in the circuit are connected. The two sources are Vs and C1, which is acting now like a battery. So this will happen during the positive cycle. So during the positive cycle, actually the top part of the source is positive. So that means the positive plate of the source is connected to negative of C1, which means these two sources are in series. So the maximum voltage available for charging C2 is Vm plus Vm, which is actually the sum of the voltages available from the source and the capacitor C1. So that will raise the capacitor C2 to a potential 2 Vm. So actually it is this 2 Vm which we call the doubled output. So the voltage doubler output will be measured from the two leads of the capacitor C2. Now we will see how we can construct a voltage tripler. This is the circuit of the voltage doubler which we have just described, and in order to convert this into a voltage tripler, what we have to do is attach one more branch of one diode and one capacitor to the right side of the circuit, and the way in which you will have to connect it is exactly like the way we have connected C1 and D1. This is how we make the voltage tripler circuit. C3 and D3 have been added. Now up to the C2 charging we have already explained, and it is exactly the way in which we have explained it for the case of doubler. C1 will be having Vm potential and C2 will be having 2 Vm potential. Now we will see what will happen when diode D3 conducts. In order that the diode D3 conducts, it should be forward biased, which will happen only during the negative cycle. So at that point the polarity of the source is like this, which will make D3 forward biased, and it will conduct current in the upward direction, and it will charge the capacitor C3 in such a way that the right plate of the C3 will be positive. So this is the polarity which is acquired by the capacitor C3. Now we will have to see how much is the potential to which C3 can be raised. In order to do that, we will have to find out how much is the net voltage available for charging C3. So at this instant, what you have to do is you will have to calculate the total voltage. We have got three sources, the source Vs, which is the AC source, and the two capacitors which are acting like batteries now. So if you examine Vs, which is whose polarity is represented as in the diagram, it is actually sending current in the opposite direction to that of the battery, which takes the place of C1. So actually C1 and Vs are cancelling each other because they send currents in the opposite direction. So we don't consider C1 and Vs because Vm available from the maximum potential available from Vs and the potential across C1, they will be getting cancelled. So the net voltage available from a combination of Vs and C1 is 0, but we have got C2 across which the voltage is 2 Vm, and if you examine C2, that is actually forward biasing D3, so it is actually C2 which is acting as a battery source in order to charge capacitor C3. So the potential to which C3 will be raised is the voltage across C2, which is 2 Vm. So this is the voltage across to which C3 will be raised after it gets fully charged. And now if you examine C1 and C3, both are acting like batteries. C1 has got Vm voltage and C3 has got 2 Vm voltage, and they two are connected in series. Therefore the net voltage available across a combination of C1 and C3 is 2 Vm, and therefore we take the tripler output across the negative plate of C1 and positive plate of C3, and it will give you 3 Vm. Now we will see how we can make quadrupler circuit. In order to convert this, whatever is shown here is the tripler circuit, and in order to convert this into a quadrupler, we need to add one more branch of diode and capacitor, and those should be connected just like we have connected C2 and D2. So this is the way in which we can construct a quadrupler. Now we will see how much will be the voltage developed across C4 when D4 is conducting. D4 will conduct during the positive cycle, during which the polarity of the source is as shown in figure, top part will be positive. So that will send current through D4 and it will charge C4, and the current will be flowing in the downward direction or in the clockwise direction, so that the right plate of C4 will be acquiring a positive charge. Now how much is the voltage developed across C4? In order to do that, we will add up all the sources available here, voltages across all the sources available in the circuit, which is constituted by C2, Vs, C1 and C3. So in order to do that, you must also take into account whether they are in series or whether they are cancelling each other. So we will start from C2. What we have is C2 is connected to Vs, but the negative plate of C2 is connected to negative plate of Vs, which means they are sending current in the opposite direction. So you'll have to they two, one of them should be counted as negative and the other one can be given positive. So we will just examine the rest of the sources and see and decide which one should be given a negative. So let me start from Vs again. Vs, positive plate of Vs is connected to negative plate of C1, so they two are in series, so that will make Vm plus Vm 2 Vm, and C3 is also connected in series, so 2 Vm plus 2 Vm will make 4 Vm. So these three are Vs, C1, C3 are in series, whereas C2 is in the opposite direction. So we'll have to add the voltages available from Vs, C1 and C3 and subtract the voltage available across C2. So that will make 4 Vm from a combination of Vs, C1 and C3 minus 2 Vm, which is available from C2. So that will make 2 Vm. So the net voltage available for charging C4 is 2 Vm. Therefore, the voltage developed across C4 after it gets fully charged is 2 Vm. So now if you examine C2 and C4, they are now acting like two batteries and they are connected in series, and the total voltage available across them is 2 Vm plus 2 Vm, which is 4 Vm, which is the voltage quadrupler output. So that's all. This is the way in which we construct the voltage multipliers. Depending on the number of times you want to multiply you want to get your voltage output multiplied compared to the peak value of your input source, you just have to keep on adding as many branches as required. But only thing is, the important points that you'll have to keep in mind is, in the case of these kind of multipliers which you construct using diodes and capacitors, your input source will be an AC, whereas the output will be DC. And in this circuit, for example, I have started with diode D1 in the upward direction, but that is not mandatory. You can invert the diodes. So if you invert D1, then correspondingly all other diodes should also be inverted. But when you do that, you will have to be careful with the polarity of C1. For example, if D1 is inverted, it will be sending current in the downward direction, which will make the left plate of C1 positive and the right plate negative. So that means if you invert all these diodes, then correspondingly the polarities of all the capacitors should also be inverted. Otherwise, what is happening is that when you do this experiment in the lab, we will have to use high capacitance electrolytic capacitor, and if you go wrong with the polarity of the capacitor, that can make it explode, which is not a nice thing to do in your lab. So that's all. So you go through all these topics and you can ask me questions, and in the next class we will discuss the construction and working of clippers and clampers.